Y'all, I've been talking this entire time. My mic was muted. So, in any case, hello, my dear friends. Oh man. Yeah, we're doing Cellrond. I'm so upset my mic was muted that entire time because I was having a blast talking. But in any case, here we are. We're drawing. This is so ironic because I did a whole sound test and I was like, oh, I'll mute my mic so I can sit here and fuss with things. And then I just forgot to unmute it, but yeah, we're going in to some color. I'm so glad you guys like this one. I like it a lot. I was saying while I was muted, like, I'm excited to finish it too. So that's why I'm doing it on stream, so that I will not over-obsess and over-fuss. I am limited to 2 hours, or like 2.5 hours. Oh man. But yeah, I was saying I've been fussing a lot with, or not fussing, but I've been playing around a lot recently with how to do Elrond's glow. And I feel like I still haven't settled on a way to draw it that I like. But we'll keep fussing. Because I've been playing around a lot with doing his lines in white. And then just like doing everybody else's lines in black, so then he looks extra luminous. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of heckin' work. So today I was lazy and I just like outlined in white pencil and then fanned it out with my paintbrush. But what a way to start stream, having me completely muted. That is a rookie mistake. But also, in my defense, I have not slept since around 6 p.m. last night. Yeah, I like this Halo too. It's fun. It is very, like, medieval saintish, I agree. Okay, we gotta get Cell's hair in here. I've been fussing. The one thing I was saying, like, again, while I was muted, I'm working on, like, on a mid-tone gray background because it makes it easier to see your values and your colors more accurately. But the one thing that I don't like about it is that I draw my base color for Cell's hair at a pretty mid-tone gray. And so sometimes I literally can't tell like where I've sketched in her hair. So that's the one downside of the mid-tone gray. Ooh, line's not closed. There we go. But yeah, I'm just gonna like flat in really roughly all of my colors and then we'll clean it up. Oh man. Let's see, and now we're on to clothes. I haven't fully decided what colors I'm doing for clothes. I just know I want to do something like kind of cozy and cohesive. So I think I hardly ever put Cell in any kind of red, but I might do it this time. We'll see. I already did this like detail embroidery pattern on her sleeves. So I just have to, well, why don't we do, let's color pick that. It's the opposite color there. Okay, that would be, anything here would be like complementary. So let's try that. Oh, but that's gonna not contrast well with the green. Blue? Nope. Or like, if we did a, what do we like there? Well, that's kind of pretty. Put more. I kind of like that. I don't like that with her hair tone, though. This is where I'm gonna get fussy. Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Let's do that. Not for her whole shirt gown thingy, but maybe just for this section of the sleeve. Yeah, his upgraded feathery coat. I have just been no thoughts, head empty about the feathers that they gave him in Rings of Power. It was so clever, and I got even more no thoughts, head empty about the feathers they gave him in Rings of Power when I realized, okay, so here's the thing. I did not like his travel outfit in Rings of Power that they gave him. I hated that color on him. It was, like, in certain lights it was kind of pretty, but in other lights it was like, oh, why is it this weird, like, gray beigey color? And then I realized that that color of his travel cloak is the exact color of a nightingale's wing. And they were just so big-brained for that. And now I cannot stop putting him in feathers. It's fun. All the feathery mantles, all the feathery motifs. It's so good. There are things that I disliked about the costumes in Rings of Power. I have to admit that. But there were some things they did that were really, really, really big-brained. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty. And then I think I want like a blue for this sleeve. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty. Let's do that. That's super pretty. Fancy Rond, yes. Fancy Rond. Do I want to do blue? Ooh, yeah, I do want to do blue the rest of this. Uh-huh, I do. That is so pretty. Let's do blue. Okay, and then I think I want this to be like a pink trim here. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. And that needs to be filled in here. But I was so pleased to get this specific pose for them requested. Because I wanted to do it. I was like, if nobody winds up requesting it, I will just do it for myself. But it got requested. Uh-oh. Oh, I've made a mistake. I've drawn that on the wrong layer. Ancient proverb. I even thought to myself, Beth, you were going to label your layers so that you wind up paying attention and not drawing on the wrong layer, and I still do it. Every time. That's what I get for having so many layers, is really what it is. Okay. And like, I think a pretty, like, gray fur would be super cute. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, for the first half of the stream, since I was apparently muted, let me explain. I was doing a warm-up, is what we were doing there. So I was doing some quick lines, and then just some figure drawing because I did art earlier today, but I did a whole bunch of things in between. So I really wasn't feeling limber when I sat back down to do art. Yeah, that was the thing. The costumes in Rings of Power really hit and miss. Yeah, the AKA Brim, with the exception of his work leather. I don't know. I kind of loved how GNC they made Brim. His clothes were so non-gender conforming in a way that the rest of the male elves weren't, and so then it stood out. Because they really did kind of gender the elves more than Peter Jackson's adaptation did. It felt like, but specifically Brim felt very like butch lesbian to me, which was, I don't know, that was very fun. I appreciated that. And yeah, it just kind of made him stand out more. Nope, that's part of the mug. That's not skin tone. Because like with Gil-galad, it just felt like kingly robes. But I don't know, there was something about the way that they shaped Celebrimbor's robes that felt very, very GNC to me. But I was really not a fan, I must admit, I was really not a fan of the lack of structure in almost every single garment, to the point that it was almost distracting because nobody had structure. And because if it had been a situation where like elves gowns weren't structured and then the Numenorian gowns were, or vice versa, then it would have made sense in my mind, because I could put that off to being like a fashion statement. But the fact that like absolutely nobody had any sense of structure to their clothing, I found that very distracting. I think I'm gonna put in Elrond's gown before I figure out what color to go for Sel's pants, because I really can't decide for Sel's pants what color I want to do. I think I need to figure out like the rest of the color composition first. But I do know I want his, like, well, actually I don't know what color I want. I was thinking gold for his coat, but now I'm like, what if like, I don't know, what if like a luminescent raven wing sort of situation? Because we could go, I don't know, do I want to go that dark with it? Let me, where is my clothes flats layer? There it is. Do I want to go that dark? Hang on, I gotta do some color palette mixing here. Because I like this blue, but I don't know if it makes sense with the color palette. Let's see. And then what about, let's pull in that pink. And then we can, whoops. Well done. And then let me grab that blue again. Or my best approximation of that blue. And then we're just gonna pull some of the colors I've already used and mix it in. And then see if I can get something that might be more harmonious. That I also like. You think that might have been somewhat accidental because he was last minute casting? Yeah, I could see that too. A lot of the costumes kind of felt, I don't know if it's uncharitable to say they felt rushed, but I think that comes down to it being kind of a rushed show in some aspects because of like COVID and no, I don't like that. We're not going to do that color. I think I am going to do gold. I am wondering like what kind of changes we're going to see with season 2, because if you think about the first season of Game of Thrones, the wigs in the first season of Game of Thrones looked awful. They were awful. It was like little rat's nests on top of the characters' heads. They were terrible. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some sort of upgrade. I like the yellow on him. I like the golds for those wings. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some sort of upgrade when it came to like the wings. I'm trying to draw and talk about the wigs. the wings. Yeah, if we saw some kind of improvement when it came to like the costuming and the wigs next season. Also because we don't have the hair shortage that was going on because of the pandemic. That was kind of a mess. So they had a lot of things just kind of going against them for the first season. I'm just nervous. I know this is turning into a let's talk about Rings of Power stream, but I'm here to talk about what I want to talk about. So I will say I am nervous because I don't feel like they have enough time to cover all of the plot points that they are trying to cover next season. That's what I'm mostly nervous for. It really does not feel like they have enough time. Well, yeah, no, I am on the wrong layer. Oh, I like this. Yes. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, the COVID wig shortage was no bueno. Though, I don't know how much we can really give them that excuse, because I will say House the Dragon was filmed around the same time and their wigs looked quite good, minus the Velaryons. The Velaryons were kind of a mess. They needed some help with those, but yeah. Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. Uh-huh. So then I think, is that too much if I give her, like, yellow pants? No, because then that blends in with his belt, and I don't like that. But we could do... Oh, yeah. Yeah. What if we just alter that color slightly so it's not blending completely in with his gown? And then I need to bring the pink back in somewhere for the balance. Nah, not there. Mug? Maybe one of these cushions eventually. Yeah, I think if I bring it back into the cushions, that'll work. Because we could also do pink. Does she have little pink shoes? That's kind of cute. I kind of like the pink shoes. And then I can bring in the golds on her buckles so that it all goes together. I feel like I'm not 100% solid on color palettes still, but that's because I spent so much of my life just not coloring things. Love that color in Elrond. Yeah, me too. They do look so happy. That's why I love this. I love these little requests because I just get to do these fun little stupid things. And I will happily draw Selrond smooching 1,000 times, honestly. What do I want to do for that sleeve? Ooh, what if this blue on Sel's sleeve for his sleeve? I don't know if I like that, but we'll go with it for now. Okay. And then I know I want... well, no, I don't know what I want. Do I ever? Oh, wait, I'm missing a corner of his gown. Here we go. There we go. Don't ask me where the rest of his mantle is going. It's somewhere on here. I just never drew it, but it's behind Celebrian, I guess. Okay, mugs, I think. We don't need a whole new layer for mugs. I think I'll just put it on the hair layer because there's not much else on there, so. I think I might just want to make them white. Like a really, that's not white. Like a really... Yeah, because then I can do like a little patterning on them, and that will be kind of sweet. We'll pop in a little something in there. Hot chocolate or coffee, one of the two. Or tea, I guess. They could be having like super dark black tea. Oh yeah, Cell absolutely makes the fabric for the cushions. Yeah, it could be a cute little capelet. That would be awesome. Okay, and then we just gotta do the jewelry, which I always do on a separate layer or else it gets lost. Gonna pop that in. And then I'm already catching some spots where I've missed. There it is. Yeah, and he's got, I forgot, he's got this little ribbon back here, which I think I should just make the same color as his gown. Okay, cute. Cute! This is making me outrageously happy. The other thing I need to do this week, I really wanted to have Boundless Sky up this week, but it is Eldritch Monster Twins chapter, so it is just wreaking havoc on my psyche. Oh man. It's a lot of fun to write. It's just, I'm never... It's just kind of a pain in the ass and there's a lot of action. But I am dying to get it out. Okay. I'm gonna worry. The background is a later problem. Because I want to... Well, no, I should be reasonable and I should be reasonable and do at least a little bit of background coloring. I'm gonna get like a desaturated yellowish something. Yeah. Yeah, that's cozy. And maybe a slightly lighter color for the bench. Which we gotta pop that under the bench lines. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do some lighting through the windows on a layer under that. And we'll find out what happens with that. I'm gonna pick like a blue that kind of matches this blue. And I'm gonna do a little that situation, and then a little that situation. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then it's the fun part, and then we get to render. Yeah, Eldritch Twins. Eldritch Twins fighting an Eldritch monster. Well, I should say they're not really fighting it. They're not really capable of fighting it just yet. But running into an Eldritch monster. We'll say that. Oh yeah, I was gonna bring in this pink to these cushions in the background. Which I do, I like that. So. And then oh. We have another little spot we're missing on her sleeves. Yeah, I like that. So let's pull in that pink here. Ooh. Can I color inside the lines? That's the question. There we go. Okay. Render time. And this is where my layers get kind of crazy. I like to do my render on a on another layer because I can sometimes over render. I have a tendency to do that. And the only way for me to really kind of step back and check to see if I've over rendered is to just hide that layer entirely and then look at it without the render and then go, do I like that or better, or do I like the render better? So, but this is where we're going to get into. Okay, my light source is coming from the back mostly. Let's see, it might be easier to... what do I want to do? And then my ambient light is... What is my ambient light? I guess it depends on if they have a light on inside, but ambient light will determine your shadow color. Because your shadow isn't really like, how do I describe this? It's, when you're painting shadows, you have to think about it more like a second color than a desaturated dark splotch. And then you'll find you'll get better looking shadows that way. Oh, I'm so glad that the gritty, like, horror realism in Boundless Sky is working. Yeah, it's really fun to write. I kind of worry that I get a bit, like, I veer a bit too far off of Tolkien with that, but it's fun. It's really fun. Let's see. Okay, focusing. Render. Let's see. We're gonna start with that. Really simple blocking in of shapes. There we go. Okay. I have to also remember when things get this small, that's the other point where it can be really easy to over render. I have to keep my shapes simple. Or at least try to anyway. It's another thing I'm not very good at. But this is why we practice. Yeah, I'm especially excited. The thing that is killing me about not progressing as much on Boundless Sky as I would like to is that the middle of Boundless Sky is where it really gets super, super interesting. So I have just been dying to get there. Because that's where, like, all of the fun Lionel character development happens. Like, we've been getting a lot now, but, like, most of the really fun Lionel stuff happens, like, the mid-fic. So, I'm kind of at the weird, awkward middle point where, like, my outline has a gap. And I need to, like, figure out what I'm doing with it. Because I only vaguely know what's going on in this section. And there's a lot of fun stuff that happens with the twins, too. In, like, mid-fic. So, I just need to get my ass on it and really sit down. That's why I was so looking forward to doing NaNoWriMo, and then I got sick, so we'll be doing that again. I think maybe not this month. I was going to try to do it this month, but I once again got sick, so maybe February. Maybe February we'll do it. That might be my magic month. Flipping my canvas real quick. Check. Yeah. Okay. So far, so good. Yeah, it's quite exciting. There's huge... The middle part of Boundless Sky is almost entirely Lionel-centric and twin-centric. And loads and loads and loads of Maglor, I must say. Like, so much Maglor. So I'm very excited. I'm dying to get there. The only reason Partake has been coming faster is because there's fewer characters to manage, honestly. Just way fewer characters. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with this. This is looking good. Need to get some shadows here. Okay. And then some blushy blushes. And I'll worry more about Bounce Light in a bit, but that's good enough for now. But the one thing the airbrush tool is good for is getting in some blushies. Oh yeah, Arrestor art. I need to do more. I've done like one portrait of him. And I used to do some Glorester art, but I realized I actually don't think I've done any digital Glorester art, and that's a crime. So I think once I kind of get through my requests, I have a couple more ideas I need to do. I have some Reunion and Valinor ideas I need to get out of my system. And then I need to do some Glorester art, Glorfindel and Arrestor. Because I've done digital portraits of both. I just don't think I've done them together. And that's a crime. Okay. I think we're gonna move on to hair. I think I need to stop fussing with skin. So now I'm going to plop that down. I'm going to lock. So I've just merged my render skin layer with my flats, and I'm going to lock that now. So I have to stop messing with it. I physically can't. And we're gonna move on to hair, which is gonna get zoomy. We're gonna zoom in. That is the one thing. I think the wig that they gave Hugo Weaving in the Hobbit movies has a chokehold on my subconscious. I swear to God. It is so pretty with the red highlights. And I just can't envision him in any other color of hair now. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I want to do art of Elrond and Arrestor together. Because that I have never done, and that also feels like a crime. Because they're best friends, Your Honor. They're best friends, they're cousins, and we love them. Okay. we did the hair loopies a little bit different this time. We're going out on the limb. But I kind of like them. I think he had something similar to this in the movies at one point. I can't remember which movie that was, though. Alrighty. We'll get some low lights in, and then I think that's enough of his hair for this drawing, because again, it's really little, so I really can't get too fussy with it, or else it's going to start to look super muddy. But that's good. That's a good exercise for me, because that is a thing that I constantly struggle with. Again, with that like over-rendering problem. But we're learning, we're growing. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I keep saying that, trying to convince myself. But I'm almost never happy with what I make until about, I have to let it sit, and then I realize that, oh, that really isn't that, that bad. And I actually like my art. I'm like that with my writing too. Which is part of why it takes me so long to finish things. But, oh, I just love drawing Sel's hair. It's just so soft. And the curls are fun. Good shapes. It's just instant serotonin whenever I draw them. Looks great. Oh, thank you. I'm having a lot of fun. There we go. I think we needed just a bit more purple in her hair. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna add in some white highlights because I like her hair to be like almost metallic. It's not quite, but it's close. So I like to really play up the highlights on it. Gosh, I cannot wait until I have another long fic finished so I can just barrel straight on into the arranged marriage AU. I am dying to work on that, but I know myself, and I know that if I start like focusing on another long fic, I will just never finish either Boundless Sky or Partake, and I would not forgive myself if I did that. Because I love them too much, and they deserve to be finished. So I think I've just scarred myself from my stupid Doctor Who fic that I have left on a cliffhanger for like 15 years. And I still get comments on it to this day, asking if I'm going to finish it. And it would require getting back into Doctor Who. And I want to do that, but also I'm firmly locked into a Cimmerlian hyperfixation, so that's kind of taking priority. Okay, yep, I think that's enough on Cell's hair. Okay, clothes time. Let's start with the wings. And then kind of work our way over. Take your time, but also I am yearning. Yes, I am yearning as well. I cannot describe how much I am yearning for that fic. Also, part of what I'm excited for is that fic involves Elrond like directly post the death of Gil-galad and the whole battle with Sauron and the loss of Isildur, and that's not something that I have explored yet in fic form. I think I've alluded to it in a couple places, but I have so many headcanons for that period of his life and kind of how it affected him. And yeah, I'm very excited to get to play with that. Because I don't know, I have this, I don't know if this is canon, I can't remember if it's a book thing that I picked up somewhere or if it's just in my brain, but I have this idea that like the closer that you are to Mordor, the more like fucked up you get just by proximity. It just twists things in the aura of the place. So I like to think about what kind of crazy shenanigans went on with Elrond's Eldritch Paradil nonsense, having been in the shadow of Mount Doom for, I don't even remember how long they were there, but for a while. I just wonder what that must have what that must have done to him. And then I like to think about, like, Celebrian hasn't seen him since he went off to war, presumably. So she remembers him looking one way, and then he comes back looking another way, and she's like, what the fuck? So it's a lot of fun. But if it wasn't obvious, that's just a thing in general I like to play with, because we're doing that right now to Gil-galad and Partake. with Elrond coming back just a bit more eldritchy than he was when he left. And Gil-galad having to reckon with the fact that Elrond is like at least a foot taller than last he saw him, and going, I'm sorry, what? And I still don't know what fully is going on with his brain in that. I don't know if he's just thinking that maybe I'm misremembering how tall Elrond is, or if he's like, well, maybe, I don't know, Paradil grow weirdly, maybe, I don't know, he wasn't done growing, but that doesn't make much sense. So, I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but I genuinely don't know what's going on with Gil-galad's brain at that point, with regards to Elrond's height, because that is such a weird, uncanny thing to experience with him getting taller. He has grown and changed so much. And also, like, it's been a year, deadass, since Gil has seen him. So there was going to be change, and that was inevitable. Just gonna go in here and deepen some of these darks. And then I think I do want to pull in some like blue ambient light, because I think that would be super interesting on this. I need to not go too crazy. I'm aware that we've already been drawing for like an hour, but and I think only about halfway done with the render. But c'est la vie. I'm having fun. I could stare at Selrond for the rest of my life and be completely content. So, ooh yeah. A bit of blending. Okay. Good enough on the wings for now. Now we're on to my least favorite thing in the entire universe. It's not hands, it's just clothing folds. Can't stand clothing folds. I just don't understand how they work. I refuse to learn. We did technically have an entire week of class that was just dedicated to fabric. And I didn't go. It was terrible. It was the most boring thing. We just sat there with like giant sheets draped over various objects in the room, and then we had to draw it, and I was bored to tears. I couldn't do it. That is the one thing about drawing elves, is that it has forced me to draw more clothes, because they wear these giant draping clothes, and then I have to actually learn how to draw clothing folds, at least a little bit. But can't say that I enjoy it. Everything I've learned about clothing folds, I've learned against my will. As I said in a previous stream, if everybody could just like be naked 100% of the time in my art, I would be happy as a lark. I'd be so pleased. Because then I wouldn't have to ever draw a single clothing fold. Yeah, with regards to Gil and all of the changes he's going to have to be a completely different king. He really has not caught up. He hasn't got with the program, he's behind. And I don't want to make excuses for him necessarily, because it's not like he hasn't been aware that changes are happening. Because he's had conversations with Elrond prior to this. Telepathically. And there have been moments in the fic where he's remarked like, "Oh, you're different. You've changed so much since we last spoke." And so it's not like he's not aware that there aren't changes, and that he hasn't been given ample opportunities to realize that he messed up and decide to change. But also it's, I don't know. He still hasn't been forced to yet. And like Brim has seen all of these changes very gradually, and he's had time to adjust. There's been very few times where Elrond has had a drastic change. I think the one time that Elrond had an extreme change was after he healed the fawn in the forest, and then he's like taller than Brim suddenly. And I mean, to Brim's credit, he just thought that was super sexy. But I think that's the only time that Brim has actually had to deal with a very stark difference with Elrond. Versus Gil is getting, Elrond is taller, and his limbs are weirdly proportioned, and his eyes are glowing, and his hair has stars in it, and it's a lot of things. So yeah, he's having a wild ride. He's having a trip. I think maybe part of him in his brain is just trying to ignore that it's all happening. But that's very like him. That is so like him. That's half the reason why we have all the problems that we do in this fic. Yeah, I'm not really happy with how these clothing fulls are turning out, but we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna move on. What if I flip my canvas? Will that tell me what I don't like? No, it doesn't. Not really. I can tell there's something that's wrong about it, but I haven't figured out what it is yet. Which is frustrating. But that's how art be sometimes. Can't win them all. Like, I don't know, maybe my values are just too close together. That could be a contributing factor. But we're going with it. We're cruising. We're cruising right along. I do need to darken up his belt a little bit. This might be a situation in which I cheat and I go over in another layer, like a multiply layer with a color, to sort of make myself think in simple shapes. I usually do that with like the lasso tool. There's something about it that like helps my brain figure out where shapes need to be. But yeah, I think there's some points where my values just are not dark enough here. I'm gonna try. Just tried and true darken up certain areas. Yeah, I do think that improved it a little bit. Marginally, but I do like that better. What if the ambient light was darker on the edges with more Elrond lamp? Yeah. I do. I need to... I might, like, go in with with a little airbrush glow tool and figure out where his lighting is coming from, and then play around more with the ambient light. Okay. I think we'll get to, like, we'll do the rest of the shadowing on the clothes, and then I'll get around to focusing more on the lighting. Because the lighting will make a huge difference with this. When in doubt, everything is triangles. That's what I've learned. Ultimate art tip. Just draw triangles everywhere. But yeah, I am really pleased with how the palette is turning out, at least. Lamprond. Yeah, Lamprond. I need to, oh my god, that reminds me. I have this comic that I drew before I had a tablet. Where, like, Arrestor's in the dark, and he's talking to Glorfindel, and he's like, babe, I'm so scared. It's so dark. Can you get me, like, a lamp or something? And Glorfindel just cracks his back and jumps up and down twice, and then he's just glowing. Exactly like a 90s glow stick. And I need to redraw that on my tablet, because it just makes me laugh every single time. One thing that I had not considered about, that I've been thinking about with Peridot and getting married and dating, is, like, do the elves understand how the choice interacts with them? Because, I don't know, like, everybody thus far, up until Elrond marries Sel, everybody that has married a Peridot has died, no? So I just wonder if like in the Second Age there's some kind of superstition a little bit about maybe don't marry a Peridot. Poor Elrond though, that just adds another layer of stigma onto him. But it is deliciously angsty. But I mean, in their defense, they don't know. They don't know what the cause is. I mean, the cause is Jurt, and the cause is coincidence. And proximity to a lot of Cimmerils. But I wonder if there's some kind of concern about whether or not marrying a Peridot affects your immortality. Okay. Yeah, I think that will do us for a basic like highlights and shadows. Ooh, no, I don't like that. So now we're on to like more lighting and ambient light, which should be fun. So we got light coming in from the background, from the windows, and that light is yellow. And then, well, no, I guess the fill light of the room is yellowish, and the light from the windows is blue. Because presumably it's winter, and so like the reflected light off the snow and the sky is like blue and white, and then they would have some kind of lamps on the inside. So I don't know that I've really done warm shadows before. Interesting. Well, let's start with, let's get did I render? Oh, I rendered on top of my clothes layer. That's fine. Let's get all of the flats onto one layer now, I think. And then we'll worry about some lighting. We're just gonna rename that straight up to flats. And we'll start with some rim light. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this piece is turning out. Yeah, okay. Goodness sake, what layer is that on? Aha. There we go. Yeah, it is soft. I'm super happy with it. Okay, we're gonna go for a bit of light underlighting on Elrond, just a bit of glowies. Well, the question is, do I like that on him for this piece? I don't think I do. When in doubt, delete your art. Huh. I think we're just gonna go with some warm ambient lighting. Maybe something like that. Which should look pretty good because it is an opposite color to the blue. Okay. Ooh, you know what I think would be fun? Let's see. What layer is that on? Is that on this layer? That's on this layer. Okay. I think I'm gonna lasso around the bench, and I'm gonna do a little gradient. We're gonna pick one of these blues, I think. Yeah, that's fun. I like that. And we're gonna blend it out a bit this way. And then we're going to add some harder shadows where there would be some. Okay. But I think I want a bit of pink on those mugs. Yeah, I do want a bit of pink on those mugs. And now we've reached the stage where I'm just fussing with it. Like, do I want to do anything more with it? That's my question. Oh, you know what I do need to do? I do need to get some highlights on the jewelry. That's critical. Okay, a couple of highlights in the jewelry. And I think this boot is looking a little unfinished. But we're almost there. Yeah. And then I think I'm going to do a cheeky little glow layer. Because I do love my cheeky little glowy layers. Lower the opacity on that a little bit. And then we're gonna do one more. Just to get some more lighting. And then let's see. I believe, wait, no. I think my lines for the background are on their own layer. Because I want to maybe try erasing out some of the window lines to soften this. I don't like that. I'll put it back. But what I am going to do is I'm now going to take my lines pattern, or my lines layer, and I'm going to duplicate it. And then we're going to set it to a warm color. I think I want a pink, like a magenta. And then we're going to set that layer to pin light and then drag it underneath my normal lines layer. So that's going to partially tint my lines. And then what I can do is I'm going to go in with my kneaded eraser, and I'm just going to erase my darker lines layer in some area where, like in some areas where the light is hitting, to soften it out a bit. Yeah. And then I'm going to go in with one more, I know, cheeky little glow layer. And this one I'm going to make yellow. And this is just the world's laziest lighting. Low opacity cheeky glow layer. Yeah. It's what I do when I want to be real lazy with my lighting. And the theme of today is we're trying to not overthink things. If I wanted to make this even more dramatic with the lighting, I could go into straight up my lines layer and start getting rid of them entirely. But I might do that a little bit, just in some areas. Yeah. And then this I decided that I don't like. Which is why we do things on separate layers. Okay. You know, y'all, I think I have to stop messing with it. I think I may need to sit here and possibly call it done. There's something about it that I'm not fully happy with yet, though. I think it might just be the values. Hang on, we're gonna do another, not a cheeky glow layer, but we are gonna do a cheeky multiply layer just to check my, what layer is that on? I'm so confused. Ah, that's on that layer. Just to check my values, because I feel like they could be exaggerate it a bit more. Ooh, I'm glad it looks wintry outside. I found that like a blue top with a yellow bottom. I don't know what it is about the winter weather that creates that color scheme, but it always feels very wintry to me. Yeah, we're gonna do a little multiply layer or an overlay. Well, one of the two, either a multiply or an overlay at like lower opacity, just because I feel like this is really what the rendering process is like for me. It's just endless fussing. But I just feel like these could be darker. Yeah. And when I'm using the lasso tool to do it, then it forces me to actually just look at simple shapes, which can sometimes help if I've like muddied it a little bit. Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna go through and make my darks darker in some areas. Yeah, I like that better. With the darks darker. And bluer, honestly. Because we don't want it that intense, but somewhere around there, I think. Yeah, the glow layer does help as well. If this is a situation where I wanted to put a lot of work into it, I would do all of this process as essentially a gesture for the color, and then I would paint over it. Because the layer tools are really useful for just kind of figuring out how I want the color to look. It's almost like an underpainting. But this is just fine. For a little shippy doodle. Okay. I'm gonna do just a you know, this is me going, and another thing, and another thing. I swear, this is the last thing. I'm gonna do just a titch more line work. And then it will be done. I love them too. Thank you. They really are so much fun to draw. And it helps when, you know, you've drawn something so often, because then I can almost kind of do it by memory. I don't have to think so much about it. And it just becomes fun. Fun little doodle. Okay, for real. I'm calling it now. I need to stop. Oh man. But we're popping this on here. Somewhere anyway. I might move it. This always is the hardest part. There we go. Down there. All right, I'm officially done looking at this. Thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. Thank you for putting up with the fact that my mic was off for a good, like, chunk of this stream. Yeah, some Celeron art. This makes me happy to look at. I'm so excited to post it. But yeah, we've been going for a good long while. Over an hour and a half, I think, at this point. What time is it? Oh no, like, has it been 2.5 hours? My goodness. I can't remember if I started at 3:30 or if it was 4. But we've been going for a good long while. I think that's where I'm gonna call the stream. This was kind of all over the place because I'm sleep deprived, but thank you everybody who showed up and chatted and said hello. I had a really good time doing this. We'll do it again. I'm gonna be doing Elrond and Project Zomboid gaming stream on Friday, like 5 o'clock-ish. So we'll help Elrond survive the zombie apocalypse. And then we'll be doing another art stream on Monday, probably also around like 4 or 5 o'clock-ish. Or not Monday, Tuesday. I lied. But yeah, thank you guys. I hope you guys have a really lovely rest of your weekend. Yeah, this was fun. We'll do it again. Have a good weekend. I'm dragging this on. I'm rambling. Love you guys lots. Bye.